Hey everyone, welcome. Today, let's talk about training puppies. And I have a lot of cautions for people when it comes to training puppies. There's a lot of things to consider. And one of the very important things is the timing. So, puppies, most people consider it the correct time to take a puppy from its mom is 7 to 8 weeks. And there might be reasons you would pick a different time. Hmm. Check that date just in case it's changed. But we used to breed dogs, and that's what it was for the years. So anyway, 7 to 8 weeks. The dog is still rapidly developing, and when you teach animals, they'll love it. They'll love it and makes their lives better. But it also requires them to adapt. And anything that requires the animal to adapt is a stress. You need to be very careful about stressing the puppies. They need their energy to grow and develop. Now, another thing about puppies, and I'm very, very adamant about this, at least where I'm concerned, is I don't take them out and about right away. So if you buy a puppy, he just left his mom. Or if you get an older puppy, he just left the home that he knows. So he has to adapt to all of that. Now, if you remember from some of the podcasts on those subjects, it takes over 30 days for a dog's blood gases or any animal's blood gases to return to normal after a major event like a move. And you're then going to take the dog out and about in public. So that just adds stress on top of stress on top of stress. I'm not saying the dog won't like it, he might love it, but it's not good for him. Now, what suffers if the dog is stressed when he's trying to grow up? Well, the immune system. Okay. So the dog is going to be more susceptible. And here's the problem, it's not just diseases like dog influenza, kennel cough, that kind of thing. If the immune system cannot keep up with life, dog is predisposed to problems like cancer, allergies. It goes on and on. You can possibly avert a lot of harm just by being careful about how much stimulus you stack on the dog at any one time. So, after a major change, we were taught at the National Zoo that the animals have a 3 times greater than normal chance of getting ill or dying for an entire year. This is with expert care in special facilities. And we're not taking the animals out and about, to Home Depot or PetSmart or whatever. These animals have more separation from the public. They're not around strange animals. They're not going into spaces where other animals have been. So, if it's not good for the animals at the zoo, you may want to really seriously consider not doing that. Okay, so much for timing. Now, um, other than the age exposure and giving the dog a chance to adjust to the new environment before you start changing things again. And I definitely would give them a good 30 days before I took them to a puppy class or anything like that. But there's another time frame that I want to mention, and that's adolescence. In the adolescence, there's this, it's been called the fear periods. And some people have said, it's at 8 months and 12 months and so on. And I don't see enough puppies to have an opinion on that. But I know from helping clients that between 8 months and 2 years old, it's very common for dogs to be very reactive to things that didn't bother them for a long time. And they'll get really upset. Well, what's happening in their biological life? Puberty. I think we all remember puberty. It's a tough time. So, this is another time to really have some care for how we train. We find we can generally take the animals through this period very well, and they'll end up adjusting to all the things they're temporarily afraid of. But take some special care, and I'll try to do a podcast on that soon also. But we won't cover it today. But just know that this is likely to happen. And two things: your dog suddenly, like I've seen videos, and I don't recommend this, of people letting puppies go across ladders when they're like 3 months old, ladders that are laid sideways and suspended over the ground. And they put these puppies on it, and the puppies just clamber over these ladders, and they seem fearless. They're at that stage where you follow mom or whoever represents mom without question, and you keep up. But here's the thing: you don't really want puppies clambering up on ladders that way. At least I don't. I want to teach them about ladders and teach them the safe way to do it and the various concerns. And then I don't have the situation where when the animal enters the fear period, all of a sudden it's like he came to a sense, oh my God, what was this guy telling me to do? What's he trying to kill me? And all of a sudden the dog's afraid of going across a ladder. That may not be a fear period. That may be a, gee, I just realized what in the world I was doing. Okay. So, and the second thing that you need to be aware of is I can't tell you how many people I've seen, especially on some of the pit bull forums and so on. And people will say, oh, I took my pit bull to the dog park. And the professional trainers will go, don't do that. It's not the right dog to take to the dog park. Find another way to exercise. Oh no, my dog is very good with other dogs. Your dog is a puppy. I'm not saying that all pit bulls are going to be dog aggressive, but most puppies are not dog aggressive. And a lot of dogs become dog aggressive during and after puberty. And I cannot tell you how many people have come back to the forums, tears in their eyes, saying, oh my God, I was at the dog park and my dog attacked somebody else's dog. They've been told, over and over and over again, the puppy you have is not the dog you will have. Allow your dog to grow up, become an adult. There are ways to teach them to cope with other dogs, but it's not by just going and hanging out at the dog park and hoping for the best. All right, so let's talk about training puppies. I have three areas that I recommend really exploring with puppies. It will learn so fast and you'll have such a good time, and it will really, really help them. The first one is name and explain. And it has a number of purposes, but I'm going to focus on two. One purpose is to teach the animal about life in general terms and to teach him the vocabulary about life. But the second purpose is to give him practical knowledge about words that you will need and the things that they name. Okay? So, what kinds of things might you name? Well, in Name and Explain, I always try to tell the animals what is going to happen, what is happening, and what did happen. And I've heard people project that dogs don't have any sense of past, future, or present. Uh, future, present, or I got that wrong too. Past, present, or future. There we go. And that's just not true. And especially if you take the time to develop their consciousness of things they remember that did happen, things that are happening right this moment, and things that they're anticipating that will happen. So it doesn't have to be complicated or difficult. You just say, we're going to go for a walk. You need to put your leash on. Can you hold still and I'll clip your leash on your collar? Then walk with me. We're going out the door. Let's go to the street and we'll go left at the sidewalk. And then you do those things. And as I do them, I say, okay, we're going out the door now. You've got your leash on. Oh, let's go down these stairs. We're headed to the street. We're at the street. See the sidewalk. We'll take a left here. Okay. Now, as I do that more often, I'll add more information. Today, we're going to the store. We go 3 blocks straight and then go 1 block to the right to get to the store. It takes animals very little time to learn how to go to these places, what the place is named, and how to get there. Deirdre Muccio had a dog, Mare, that we helped her teach Mare to be able to go for help. Deirdre was blind. Mare was her guide dog. And when we talked about things that could be really useful to accomplish in training, that was one of the big ones. So not only did we teach Mare the concept of go for help, but when Deirdre got home from the conference, she walked with Mare to the apartment of a friend. And the friend, she explained that if Mare came, and what we had taught Mare to do for an alert is to tap twice on the elbow or the knee of the person. So if the person was standing up, to tap twice on the side of the knee, and if the person was sitting down, to tap twice on the side of the elbow. And that was a signal that Deirdre needed help. And this neighbor would then accompany Mare back to Deirdre. And we did it in 3 days. Deirdre went back home, introduced Mare, and then sometime after that, gave Mare the cue to go for help. And help had been defined as this neighbor. And Mare just went straight up to the neighbors, gave him the alert, and he came back and everything was great. It's very effective and it was not difficult to do. Okay, so it's important to explain things to the dogs because they'll learn more and they'll learn faster. So other things you could explain, besides activities, items, locations, individuals, food types, toys, substances, those are all great things to name. And all you do is just name it when you draw the animal's attention to it. When you present the food, here's your food. Would you like water? Here's water. I'm going to take your water bowl up so you don't get wet. You have a metal water bowl so you don't get an infection. Can I see your chin? Your chin looks great. That's a good segue to body parts. While you're getting those puppies used to being handled and enjoying it, do some body work. And we'll talk about that more in just a second. But when you're touching the body, name the part of the body that you're on. These are your ears. Where are your eyes? Oh, as you stroke over the eyes, these are your eyes. How about the direction? This is your left eye, your right eye, your left ear, your right ear. This is the top of your head. This is underneath your head. This is your chin. What's underneath your shoulders? It's your chest. And on top of the shoulders is your back. Okay, so here's your shoulders. You've got a right and a left shoulder, but you only have one back. This is your back, and it goes from here to here. And this is the part of your back over the shoulders. This is the part of the back over the hips. What's at the bottom of the hips? Your tail. You only have one tail. You have one back. You have one head, but you have two eyes, two ears, four legs, etc. Okay. I tell the animal, not all on the first day, right? Like 5 to 15 things per training session. And, I'll repeat those things on other days, but really amazingly, we have found multiple times that an animal will often learn 10 things in a minute and remember them months later. So, be cautious, but don't be boring. Okay, big thing is this is also enrichment. The animals love it, and their minds are sponges. They're just wanting to learn everything. So you want to name body parts. You want to name directions. And you want to name duration, how long you're doing something, and some other things like touches. So we teach a scruff pull, which is very relaxing to the animal. We teach what we call the undulating massage, the agitator motion, and banding. These are 4 different kinds of touches that help dogs to relax. We name the body parts. The mental states, the emotional states. You are easy, you're alert, you're barking, you're reactive, you're aroused. Whatever the dog is doing, just name it. They've determined with humans that just naming emotional responses is one of the most effective ways to help animals cope with stresses. Isn't that crazy? But it works, and I can vouch for that. Okay, so we started out just doing a stream of narrative where you just talk about everything that the dog's going to be interested about. But then we make sure that in these early days, we focus on the body parts, directions, touches, durations, things that you do to the body parts. This is a brush, I'm brushing you. This is a comb, I'm combing you. These are the nail clippers. Yeah, don't quick them, right? You don't want to have to tell the dog, these are the nail clippers, I'm quicking you. So just be very careful. But all of these things are going to be very useful for the vet visit and the groomer visit, things that are going to come faster than you can imagine. And we're going to go from there to teach conditioned relaxation. So you probably know that I'm known for perception modification. This is a fantastic way to teach animals to cope with stress and manage their emotions. On the way to teaching them this, we teach them conditioned relaxation, because conditioned relaxation is the skill that the animal needs to cope with triggers or environmental stresses or environmental challenges. So a trigger would be like, going to the vets, getting the nails trimmed, seeing another dog, going to a class, going to fly ball. It doesn't mean that the dog doesn't like the trigger. It just means the dog loses his ability to self-manage in the presence of this event. So we're going to teach the dog to do differently. We're going to teach him to relax and to be able to cope with all these different events. But the first step is to teach the animal conditioned relaxation. You want to get the animal to the point where you can ask them, can you get easy? And they do. And believe me, they'll do it in less than 2 minutes. Even when when we're helping them, they just learn this very, very quickly in most cases. So what you can do is, all those body parts you named and so on, and touches, you can name, the banding, the massage, the scruff pull. You can name stroking, you can name pressing, pushing, pulling, pricking. And for that, I just show the animal right on my own hand and I go, ow, that hurts. I need to prick your scruff. A scruff is a good place to pick. And you can do it with a syringe eventually, but initially you can just do it with a chopstick or something. You're just teaching the concept of some little object making a little prick sensation. Because in reality, a needle going into the skin, it doesn't have to be painful. Most of the animals learn to get an injection with no problem at all in less than a couple of minutes. Okay, so to review, with puppies, we talked initially about critical time frames. They need 30 days after they travel to your place to be able to adjust to their new life. And you want to be careful about taking them outside before those 30 days are passed. You need to be aware that they have a 3 times greater than normal chance of getting ill every time you go through a major change together. And that's for people too, okay? But, and you also need to stay aware that when they start to enter puberty, there's going to probably be fear periods and major personality changes are possible. All right. And then, so what can you do while you're there at home with your puppy? You can teach them everything about life at home, what the names of everything is, where they are, who's there, what you're doing, all these things. From there, you go to body parts, directions, distances, durations, touches, okay, and things like pricking and so forth. And you can name all the things like you were already: brushes, combs, nail clippers, all that. And finally, from there, continue to use body work to teach the animal to relax. Now, let me give you an example of what that narrative sounds like. So this is a name and explain for conditioned relaxation. Wow, look at you. You're all alert. What a good dog. You're very alert. Can you get easy? You want me to help you? I'm going to use the scrub pull to help you relax. So can you get easy? There you go. I'm pulling your scrub. Good, 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 good. Look at that good dog. Now, maybe while I'm pulling the scrub, I also do some massage on the shoulder. Good dog. Look at that. Maybe I do a little bit of working down the spine and the rib cage. Good dog. Little banding. Pull the ears gently and stretch them out. And as the dog starts to relax, I say, well, look at you. You're getting easy. Look at those easy shoulders. You're up on your elbow. Would you like to get easy on the ground? You can lay on your shoulder on the ground. That's a good dog. Your head's still up in the air. Your head's alert. And you get an easy head. And then as the dog starts to relax and let his head go down to the floor, that is a good dog. That is an easy head. It's on the ground. Your eyes are tense. Your eyes are alert. Can you give me easy eyes? You're going to be amazed. These dogs will blink their eyes and look right at you like, how do you like that? And by the way, you're going to see as you're teaching left versus right eye, all of a sudden, if you tell the animal, okay, I'm going to touch your left eye, you'll be shocked because the dog will blink his left eye right after you say it. And all of a sudden, you'll realize he really does understand, just like we suggested he would. Okay, so some quick and easy things. It doesn't take any skill, it just takes presence of mind to just teach these animals this information about their new life. And if you kind of are wondering, well, exactly how I should do that, think about how your mom taught you vocabulary. It's really not much different. Okay, guys, keep those puppies at home at first. That's my suggestion. And teach them all kinds of things. You're going to have a blast. And they'll start out with an excellent start in life. All right, take care.